It's officially fall, y'all. And today it's real breezy here in Savannah. Don't get me wrong, it's still warm, but the nights are cooling off a little bit more this time of year rather than July and August. So I'm going to start this recipe by telling y'all that I'm going to make a spicy tomato soup. Alrighty, so I'm gonna cut on my eye, and I've got a little olive oil because I'm gonna saute our onions and our celery. And like tomato soup is like one of my favorite kind of cream soups. Okay, the onions and the celery. This one's got some of my favorite flavors in it because I love tarragon. I adore tarragon. And it's not one of those herbs that I cook a lot with. But now we're just going to saute these until they're kind of translucent. And then we're going to start adding the goods to it. I've let our celery and our onions cook. Now I told y'all this is a spicy tomato. So I just added my Fresno chilies, my chili peppers. So there we go. Just a few minutes. We want to get it opaque. All right, our celery and onions and our Fresno chilies are cooking. We're going to cook those until they're tender. And while we're doing that, I'm going to take my toasted bread. We just toasted it in the air fryer with garlic, with olive oil brushed on it. So now I'm just going to break this up real rough. But I want y'all to see, I got to show y'all this board. And I am so sorry, but neither Eddie nor I can remember who gave it to me. But Eddie said he remembered it coming in a gift basket. Look at this beautiful cutting board. So I'm sorry that neither one of us can remember, but I do thank you so much because I love this cutting board.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. Eddie says, look, I mean, it's just beautiful. Like I said, I'm just going to give this a rough chop because I got my handy dandy immersion blender waiting on us. I probably could have just broke this up, but why do that when I can do this? All right, now I think these are fairly tender. So now I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. If I can find my tablespooner. Oh, that's all right. I can guess. I know what a tablespoon looks like. And that's about it. But, tomato paste is such a rich version of a tomato. And you usually don't need even the smallest of cans. I can't use them all. But this is wonderful when you just need a dollop of tomato paste. I really like those. And they're from Italy. All right, so we're going to mix that in with our celery and onions and our Fresno. And we're just going to cook that for a couple of minutes. Let the richness of that tomato paste get all over and through our ingredients. About 2 minutes. So 2 minutes on the tomato paste. And now I'm going to add our canned tomatoes. If you've got fresh tomatoes, by all means, use them. But these are really good for the occasion. And do we want to stand up at the stove all day long making a soup? I like things that are convenient, but still quality. You know, there's some shortcuts. I will not take it all. All right, so I've got our tomatoes in there, and now I'm going to add 2 cups of chicken broth. I want to make sure I get all that rich broth in there. So there we go, 8 to 10 minutes. All right, while that's simmering, I'm going to cut some parsley. I need about 2 tablespoons, not a whole bunch. All right, so like I said, about 2 tablespoons of parsley. And it can be just a rough chop. Remember the toasted bread that I was cutting up? We're now going to put it in our soup.
Oh, I thought that was going to be like croutons.
Croutons on top. No, they're actually going into the pot right now. And this is when I'm going to pull out my handy dandy. Let me get where I can hit the button. Wait, there. It wasn't in the socket good. So that bread is not only going to give it flavor, it's going to help thicken our soup. So, you know, I talked about it earlier. Some people like cream soups chunky, but some like them real creamy. So I'm going to do this probably about medium way. Ouch! And be careful. That's why I made this in a pot that was really a lot bigger, so I could use my blender on it. Okie doke. I kind of like this. It's still got a little chunk to it, but not much. All right, so now I'm going to add my tarragon. I think that's why I like a Béarnaise sauce so much, because of that wonderful licorice tarragon. All right, now I'm going to add just a little bit of heavy cream. And that was just a little bit, but you can add as much or as little as you like. Now the last thing to go in is our parsley. Michael,
Hey.
Tomato soup. Do you like yours really smooth or kind of chunky?
Smooth.
I know he's going to say that. Okay, here we go. All right, and towards the end, y'all, give it a little taste, which I did. And now I'm going to add the salt and the pepper, because to me, tomatoes just scream for salt. So just that easy, y'all. Now, if you don't have an emulsion blender, you can throw this in a regular blender, like the blender that you use to make your smoothies in. If you don't have one of these little emulsion things. What did I have in there? Oh, yeah, that's right. I did have the cream in that. All right, so I'm going to dip me up a little taste. All right, now I got a little bit of Greek yogurt. Oh my gosh, it's so good, y'all. And to me, this just screams fall. And I don't know why, because tomatoes are at their prime during our summer months, but this is just so fallish. Now, if you don't have Greek yogurt, you can substitute with sour cream. And the fresh ground pepper that I put in there, you know, it comes out in big chunks. And I got one in my tonsil, I think. So I may start coughing real bad.
We can't do both.
Well, you know what? I'm passing this one on to you. Teresa, can I dip you up a little bowl?
I'm gonna get some in just a minute, but thank you.
How about you, Eddie? Huh?
I'll wait a little bit.
So can you see the thickness that I got? I've already got it on me, y'all. But that's the thickness that I like. And I love what the...
Delicious.
Thank you. You'll come back, y'all.
I'll be back.
That's always a good sign if that's what you really want to happen. Love and best dishes, y'all. Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.